My grandma passed away in July 2016. I was 10 or 11 and in 5th grade during this, and I was very close to her before she got sick. I already had a phone at this time for safety reasons, and my mum always made sure for me to call her once I got home safely. At my grandma and grandpa's house there were also 3 other people living there, my 2 aunts and my cousin. At this time my cousin had graduated already but wasn't in college yet, and her mum was always working. My other aunt wasn't working at that time either, so for most of the week, my aunt, cousin, and grandpa were home. Another important piece of information was my mum would always answer her phone, and if she didn't, she would call back. In less than 5 minutes, it wasn't the first day of school. I think they didn't have a bus on the first few days of school or something like that. I just remember no one rode the bus for the first week or so. Also, Amaya was a caring older sister to Holly, and she treated me like her sister too, so it's very hard to believe this was a prank. Now onto the actual story. I was in 5th grade. I had to be 10 or 11 years old, and my grandma had passed away in July 2016. We started school in August, so it was only a month after she had passed. Before 5th grade, I would always take the bus home, but the school made a new rule that only 2nd graders and lower could ride the bus. 3rd grade and above had to get picked up or walk home. To this day, we don't know why they made that rule. The weird thing about it is the school didn't warn any of the parents that this new rule would be enforced, so I got on the bus only for the bus driver to tell me and my friends that we couldn't get on. So I called my mum and told her, and she called the school and explained that there was no warning beforehand and nobody could come pick me up till later, so the school made an exception and they let us on the bus for that one day. I rode home with my 2 friends, and once we got off we talked for a few minutes. One of my friends was named Holly, and she had an older sister, Amaya, in middle school that I was also friends with. My friend Jay was there too, but she got picked up as soon as we got off the bus, so I stayed with Holly and Amaya. After a few minutes I headed home. It was hot that day. I live in Southern California and it was during August. My grandpa already would have the door unlocked for me a few minutes before the bus arrived so I can just come in, but that day it wasn't unlocked, so I knocked and I waited about 2 minutes before calling him to open the door. I must have called him 4 times. Now, I rule out that he was sleeping because there's been several times recently where I call him while he's sleeping and he wakes up to answer his phone. I remembered that he would always leave the gate on the side unlocked always, and through the backyard there a key for the back door. I tried opening it, but it was no use. It was locked. I remember thinking to myself how weird that was, but I didn't care. I remember feeling tired and hot. Then I called my mum and she didn't answer. Then I called my sister and she didn't answer. Then I called my aunt, my other aunt, my uncle, my cousin, and a family friend. I started to panic a little, but then I remembered one of the windows in the front was broken and you could easily slide it open. So I slid it open and was going to hop inside, but unfortunately I wasn't very athletic or small at that time, so I couldn't boost myself up. Even if I wanted to, I don't think I would be able to fit. So I went to my friend's house and asked Amaya and Holly to come over. I told them I couldn't get in and if they have a bobby pin so I can try opening it. I was young and saw people opening locks with bobby pins all the time in movies, so I thought I could do it. Lol. Then we all gave it a shot and unsurprisingly it didn't work. I then asked Amaya if she could climb through the window and unlock the door for me, and she agreed. Me and Holly helped her up before she went in there. It took about 30 seconds to a minute before she unlocked the door for me. She looked pale and kind of surprised. I remember asking her what was wrong and she said she saw a lady in the hallway. I remember telling her it was probably my aunt, but she said no, it was an older lady. I don't know why, but my first instinct was to ask her what the lady looked like. I started describing my grandma. Glasses, black, curly hair, short and so on, and she said yes. Then I asked her if she saw her face and she said no. I couldn't believe what she told me and I just thanked her and went inside. I remember being scared, but not of what just happened. My thought was more of thinking there was a ghost in the home, child mind being scared of everything. But when I went through the hallway I felt weirdly at peace, which was something so rare cause I've always hated the hallway. Even to this day, whenever I'm at my grandpa's I always have to turn the lights on. If anyone has any ideas of what could have happened that wasn't paranormal, I would love to hear about it. Thanks for reading. Also, if there are any questions about this then please ask and I'll try answering.